Joe Rogan reacts to Greta Thunberg. Let me guess, he's going to belittle Greta Thunberg.
That little how dare you girl?
Yeah.
How dare you? You know, the climate change girl? You know, the little autistic girl?
She's an
well,
adult
now
nobody
she's
cares.
free Palestine. She's singing things off her phone. Now she's at the front of a boat like George Washington, making its way to Gaza.
Whatever the
Really?
environment,
Bro,
though.
it's like there she is.
Is the
She's
environment done?
Leonardo.
Is that Ari Shafir that I hear in the background? Because if it's Ari Shafir, he is, I mean, he's a freak on every issue, but on the issue of Palestine, ironically, he is not a freak and is pro-Palestine. It's Mark Norman.
DiCaprio.
She's got a nice boat.
From the river to the rising sea levels.
She's going to
Not
fix
bad,
it.
yeah, that
dude.
does sound
She's going to
like
break
Hey,
the Israeli
not bad.
label.
Ari Shafir and Mark
She
Norman.
got more.
Bro, those IDF guys are going to turn her into cat food. They will light her up from the shore before she's.
It's Ari, Shane Gillis, and Mark Norman. I don't know why they're laughing. I would have thought they would push back on this a little bit and start ripping into Israel.
Even close. They don't play no
Everyone's
games.
gonna.
They don't
Both
play
sides are gonna blow that boat.
Yeah, they don't.
They see it.
Yeah.
They actually maybe come together on who gets to
Both
blow
sides, Shane. You don't have to suck his this hard, brother. That's crazy. I'm not Mr. Anti-Joke, okay? You can make jokes about the flotilla. You can make a shit ton of jokes about Israel in this process. I'm shocked that guys that normally would entertain that, guys that know better, like Shane, are in the presence of Joe Rogan and have to, you know. Yes, the amazing racist is pro-Palestinian. Ari Shafir is, as far as I know, pro-Palestine. And I know for a fact that Shane Gillis is pro-Palestine. He hung out with the kneecap boys.
Maybe that can bridge the gap here.
She could
Could
be
be.
sacrificing herself for all of us.
Well, she could be just the best person ever.
Nothing greener
Or
than killing yourself.
She could be someone that they take advantage of
How
and use
dare
at the front of the line for every
Here
cause.
coming into
Ooh,
It's one of those.
She's a young kid, man. It's so crazy to take a young kid and like put them
Alter
as
their
the,
lives. This
Yeah.
is going to be your life now forever.
You're the face of X, Y, and Z.
This
You're
is
the
this
face
is
of-
Look,
this is
even if it's not up to her, and it is obviously not obviously, but it could be out of her hands. She probably has handlers and political shit. But it's like,
for now.
at least she's
trying.
She is
Gainfully
trying.
employed.
she's trying
She cares.
yeah, gainfully
But this
employed.
is when they were going to Palestine. It's like those people going to the unchartable islands and be like, "Hi, I'm Christian."
Just spear you immediately.
Yeah, like North Sentinel Island.
Jesus, you've forsaken me.
that shit's crazy.
That is insane. Oh, God, these guys are such cowards. You pussies, say some shit about Israel that's like heinous. You know you have it in the tank. You just don't want to rip it in front of Joe. That's it. They're like, my expectation is not that they make no jokes. This is a serious situation, Joe. No, they're comedians. Ari specifically is a shock comic. He is a unfathomably racist person. Okay. But it's like when they're in the same room with Joe, they can't say anything. They can't take a step outside of like the neat little confines that Joe Rogan has designed. Say some heinous shit. Test the waters. You know, you could say some reaction-inducing statements about Israel. I know, I've heard you say it, Ari.
Or the white social worker who goes into Baltimore ghetto. He's like, "Hey, everybody, I'm here," and they just beat the out of him.
The reason why they're so cowardly, the reason why this is like offensive to me, as someone who likes comedy and as someone who actually has like listened to their work in the past, Israel is such a heinous state, okay, and such a third rail in media especially, that like if you really wanted to be edgy, if you really wanted to be counterculture, you could make ridiculous statements even about Israel, okay, instead of basically doing the edgy version of what CNN says. You know, this is not bravery. What they're exhibiting here is cowardice, okay? What they're exhibiting here is cowardice. To be like, yeah, Palestinians are feral animals. That's the way I'm going to be edgy. I'm going to do shock jock shit. Yeah, punching down at people that have a ton more courage than they do because what? They're autistic and have a media presence that's like a media presence they were contentious to when they were building their comedy careers. It's baby shit. No backbone, but also no. Outside of backbone, which is what's good. This isn't about jokes or comedy. It's about the message of the jokes. Them being provocateurs and material. No, it is about comedy. I'm hitting this exclusively from the angle of comedy. Okay, my commentary on this: watching 4 comedians, okay, having a conversation at a comedy podcast about some serious political shit, but in a lighthearted manner, as comedians do, right? As comics do. What they're doing is unironically what cowards do, okay? Even from a pure comedy standpoint, what they're doing is cowardly. You are choosing not to craft a joke about Israel at the expense of Israel, and instead actively leaning in the direction of punching down, because you know the audience, if you get edgy when you punch down, will actually still think you're like crafting a funny joke, haha, and still think that you're counterculture and also edgy. But it's actually infinitely less risque as a joke to craft than one that actually attacks Israel. And these guys actually do criticize Israel with regular frequency. Okay? They do. They just don't want to do it right now in front of Joe Rogan because they suck up to Joe sexual style. They have to suck him off. Like, think about this. A little girl, if you want to call her a little girl, she's 22, but like a little girl versus a nuclear armed state filled to the brim with religious fundamentalist nut jobs that believe in the superiority of their own people. Like, that in and of itself is a joke. The reality is a joke. Like, they're afraid of baby formula entering the strip, dude. It doesn't take much to laugh at that situation. I'm not expecting you to be like, she's so brave, Greta. She's so brave. Here, edgy humor is Mr. Free Speech. When you're all of a sudden exercising your free speech to make jokes at the expense of a nuclear armed state, or even before you talk about the expense of the nuclear armed state, here's Dave Portnoy. You should just hoping that a missile strikes Greta Thunberg's ship.
Go over to Gaza. We can do unnamed. You can be live in Gaza.
I'll jump on Greta Van Thorsten or whatever that girl. She's sailing there, like whoever that. I hope they hit a missile on her boat.
Well, I hope they.
Also, in that same podcast, this is what he said. This is what he in the same podcast. Hey, that's just jokes, bro. I hope they bomb her ship, bro. I hope Israel bombs her ship, bro. Here, same podcast. Let's take a look at what else he had to say on the same podcast about jokes.
Right now, you probably
nothing.
Don't do
nothing. Silence everything.
What do you?
Every comedian, don't tell a joke about it because Dave, that's how the world works. I agree with you.
Go back to your question. When does freedom of speech impinge?
That was your
freedom
question,
of
not
religion?
mine. That was your question.
Answer it.
How many deaths?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer.
Like how in America, American
what's your
citizens.
answer? What's your answer to that question?
Now.
Okay, we're there.
Dave, his funny pork boy, is losing his mind at people making, like, mostly Jewish comics making jokes at the expense of Jews, which is literally the hallmark of comedy in America. Okay, like Jewish comedians making fun of Jews is literally like 75% of comedy at its inception point. And then the 25% is black people making fun of black people, okay? It's insane. It's like 75-25.